Listen, I thought tonight was a unique Big Ten game in the sense that you don't have many that are as you don't have many that are like that. As I've said, I've got a lot of respect for Nebraska. This Nebraska team, they played two teams very close on the road at Wisconsin, and then at home versus Michigan. Both games where they had leads. I think our guys were aware of that, and I think overall it was a really solid performance by our guys. I thought we were able to defend them with great purpose. Had really good technique. Certainly made some shots, but I thought our ball movement was exceptional, and that's what we have to continue to be. That's what we have to continue to be. Again, I think probably they missed some shots that they'll normally make. Fred's teams always do a great job of spreading you out and making it a real challenge. I got a lot of respect for how his teams play. So we'll take this one here. We know it's a little bit unique in the sense that you don't have many like this in the Big Ten, but we'll take this and move forward and get ready for a terrific Minnesota team.
Alrighty, we'll start out with Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch.
Chris, when you talk about this being a unique Big Ten game, are you referring just to the fact of how lopsided it ended up being, or can you elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by that?
Yeah, no, I thought it was just unique in the sense that you don't have many Big Ten games and that where there's this margin, so you don't ever expect that. But again, I think they missed some shots that they normally make, and we made some shots, but I thought our ball movement had a lot to do with that. I thought we really moved the ball, so I just think unique in that sense. If we were to probably play them tomorrow, the game very easily would look much different. We just probably caught them on a night, and I thought we had something to do with that. We played really well.
When you look for takeaways from this game, the fact that you responded from a tough loss and you made them do some of those things, is that maybe one of the bigger takeaways from a night like this?
Yeah, I thought our guys had good focus, as you'd expect. A team coming off a tough loss, they can go in one of two directions. They can respond the right way and come back hungry and with a bit of an edge in practice. And we had an edge in practice these last couple of days. I think we were all disappointed. I thought we did some really good things at Northwestern. Just didn't finish it with the kind of across-the-board stuff to win a game like that. But I thought our guys had good purpose, good preparation, respected this Nebraska team, certainly based on, again, this was a team that was up in the second half at Wisconsin and in a close game versus Michigan. So it was good to see our guys, again, do some things well in terms of trusting each other, moving the ball better. We'll see, again, if that's what we consistently are. That's what we consistently need to be.
Alrighty, we'll go next to Patrick Murphy, 247. Patrick?
Chris, you've mentioned a couple times that they missed some shots they'll probably make, but you hold them to 28% shooting. I mean, you've got to take some credit from that, right? The defensive performance throughout, especially early when the shots weren't falling for you. How impressed were you with what you guys did on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I thought we were locked in defensively. I thought we were in tune with what we need to do. We were locked in defensively. And I think having some fresh bodies helped us. Obviously, we were without Musa because of contact tracing and Ibrahima because of his knee injury. But I thought having some fresh bodies, we've got to continue to do that. I think probably we've got to tough for our backcourt to play 34, 35 minutes every night. So we need to continue to get provide some depth there.
And Bruce asked you the other day about Justice. To see him come out and have success, can that be something he builds upon going forward now that you're in Big Ten play and he's really adjusting?
Yeah, I just think for him the lesson is going to be continue to learn from the good moments in the tough moments. I think that's true for all of us, but for him, he's on this journey and this path, and again, he's got to continue to take feedback from game after game, understand how he's going to be played, and continue to learn from it and be aggressive. And I thought defensively he was good tonight, which was important because he had a big matchup with Teddy Allen.
All right, we'll go next to Nicole Kraft, Associated Press.
Hi, Chris. You guys started 0 for 5 from beyond the arc, which I think must have been reminiscent of times that you would wish not to repeat. And then EJ hit, and then of course at the end it seemed like Justin couldn't miss. So what do you, I know that there's a streaky nature to shooting 3-pointers, but how do you kind of get them in the mindset that it's okay to take them? And as Justin noted, that once he starts hitting them, he's going to hit them. But what's your philosophy on that?
I just really, for us, it's about taking good ones and be aggressive. We need the right guys taking them. We've got good shooters with Justin and Seth and Jimmy and Dwayne. I can go on down the line, but we've got good shooters. The right guys need to continue to shoot them. And guys need to take good ones. Guys need to take good ones. I think for us, that's got to continue to be the case. I didn't really have issue with any of our early threes. We were 0 for 5, but all 5 of them, to my knowledge, were good threes. And then once we kept taking good ones, I knew we'd knock some down.
Thank you.
All righty, we'll go next to Bruce Hooley. Bruce?
I'm good. Asked and answered.
All right. Next up, let's go to Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on SI.
Hey, Chris, congratulations on a nice night here. Hey, Justice visited with us for a few minutes, and he probably said the words attention to detail more than anything else. I think he used it in just about every answer. It's been a common theme here with what you've said so far. Are there specific examples of things where you felt like the last couple of days that you can share with us of like, hey, as a team, boy, we really focused on this better?
Well, I think as much as anything, probably there were some defensive personnel things that we had to lock into. But typically, throughout this year, Brendan, we've been good with that. We have been good with that. Our guys have been good with that, I think, throughout the course of this season. I do think we had better purpose and attention to detail offensively in terms of seeing some of the crowds that we could attract by driving it or posting it and making the right reads in those situations and trusting each other. So I think for us, I'm not sure exactly what he talked about, but that's what I noticed and took from the game.
And how about the last 5 of the first half, first 5 of the second half? I know at times this year those have been troublesome spots for you, but boy, it was about as rock solid tonight as it could have been. Anything in particular about those 2 stretches stand out to you?
No, I really liked it. I agree with you. I thought it was important for us because we've not always finished the half as well as we would have liked to this year. And some of that is, we typically sat a couple guys that had 2 fouls, and tonight we sat our front line who had 2 fouls. But I thought we got good contribution from the guys that came in, and we were able to extend that lead and give us some momentum going into the end of the first half.
All right, we'll go next to Colin Hass-Hill, 11 Warriors.
Hey, Chris, I was just wondering if, in sort of the limited time that you've been able to actually see Seth on the court, how much has he changed the spacing for you guys now that he's out there?
Well, I think that needs to continue to be I think as his reputation continues to grow within this league, I thought Justice made a really nice pass to him early. Listen, I think his ability to space the floor and create gravity situations is going to be really important for us, really important. And we've got to continue to find him. Again, his conditioning has to get better. His attention to detail defensively has to continue to improve. I know all that will. But the space that he provides, he's got a really good feel for the game offensively too. As you know, and as you can see, he's got a terrific feel offensively.
Was it intriguing just the limited time that you saw him and Justin on the court at the same time? I mean, when you just think of that duo, and I know you had Justice out there as well that sort of trio, it's sort of, to me, maybe gave a lens on what we could see you guys doing when everybody's more healthy and you guys sort of have a better idea of what you are in a couple months.
Yeah, I think it's possible, Colin. I think you got to have to look at that point at, you are going to have to be locked in on the other end with the teams in our league right now and the way they like to deck it and get to the paint and play off the bounce. We've got to take we've got to grow in that area if that lineup's going to consistently play, to be quite honest. But I think it does provide good spacing. I could see us playing that lineup more, especially as those guys continue to grow.
We'll go to Jacob Benji. Jacob?
Yeah, hey, Chris. Just without Musa tonight, you might have had to rely on Jimmy Sotos a little bit more, and he's out on the court shooting right now. Just how important were his minutes tonight, and what do you see from him as, like, some guard depth?
No, I think you'll continue to see his minutes increase as long as he continues to. His minutes were going to increase regardless of Musa's absence, just because I think as I reflect back, as I mentioned, we need more depth at the 1 and the 2 there. So he's got to continue to play for us. I don't think it's too much to ask right now, Dwayne, to play 34 minutes. So we're going to need some depth there for sure.
Yeah, Jimmy looked, like he's really energetic on the bench. How do you see his chemistry with the team, in the locker room or in practice?
Great. Yeah, it's been great. I think he's had a good attitude, good approach, as you would expect an older guy would be, an older guy who's been through it. He understands this is a bit of a bonus year for him in a lot of ways. But it's been good. He's just got to keep getting better. He's got to keep understanding. Does a good job passing and moving the ball. I think that's a real strength for him, and he can really shoot the ball.
Thanks.
All righty, and then we'll wrap it up by going back to Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch.
Chris, I was thinking about this after the news with Musa yesterday, and obviously it's not a positive test for him. But when you see, I haven't asked you about like when Johnson from Florida goes down and collapses on the court, and he's had the cardiac testing. How important are things like that going forward, and how much do you take note of when a kid goes down, and he had positive tests during the summer, but how much are you cognizant of that, and how much, like as coaches, do you guys continue to talk about that as far as making sure that those protocols are happening if players are going down this season?
Well, I appreciate you asking that, and without knowing the specifics of that young man, and man, our thoughts and prayers are with him, and so it was so just exciting to see his recovery. And but without knowing the specifics of did he have it, did he not have it, I've not followed that closely. What I will say in regards to COVID, positive COVID test, as you mentioned, we have a young man out right now, Musa, who does not have a positive COVID test, but is involved with contact tracing. But I will tell you this: back in the summer. And really into the fall, as I was talking to Dr. Jim Borchers and our medical staff here, the number of conversations I had with them regarding the importance of cardiac MRIs made me feel so strongly and passionate about the importance of that test for any young man under our care that I picked up the phone and called my closest coaching friends in the business and just encouraged them that if they had a positive COVID test on their team, certainly I don't, based on the information that I've received from our medical staff, the cardiac MRI is critical. And I certainly, I think for me, I would feel uncomfortable, and I'm so grateful that our university has required that. And certainly it's expensive, and there's a lot involved with it, and there's a lot of planning that goes into it. But I'm really grateful that early on that's been the case here, and I believe that's the case at most places, a lot of places, most every place. But I know I felt strongly enough to call friends that at all different levels of college basketball, because I know how important that is. So, given Moose's situation, again, we'll continue to see his testing. But if we have an unfortunate situation where he does test positive, the protocols will be once he gets cleared, it'll be an immediate cardiac MRI, and I'm so grateful that we do that, and I believe that's important for every athlete right now.
Has that been shared like Big Ten wide, or do you feel that does Ohio State have a different sort of emphasis?
It's a Big Ten policy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Big Ten policy, and I know back in the summer, our coaches were very grateful as we talked on the regular, because my understanding is myocarditis doesn't always show up in some of the other testing, but a cardiac MRI does clearly rule it in or out. So I think it was great that the Big Ten stepped in there.